Hey YouTube, in yesterday's video I went over defense versus stamina and how they interact with each other and how they, what I think is make a Pokemon very, very strong. So having that good stamina defense combo really makes these Pokemon, if you look at them in the rankings there, those that have that nice defense stamina combo really are go-to Pokemon to use. But then I also talked about like, oh, I like using Swampert, I like using Togedemaru because I know how to use them, stuff like that. And I'm like, I was just thinking, I'm like, I've made so many teams and so many different styles of teams. Why don't I just explain to people the different styles of teams and how to use them and give examples? So that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to go over the different style teams that I use and the Pokemon that fit the bill and examples of just using. I've got like 5 old team videos here that I'm just going to do like one battle from each just so you kind of see it in action. But before we can even get into how to build teams, you need to know the role of each Pokemon, and that is number one. So what I always say, and I kind of call out viewers when you use a team blindly from other content creators, I always say if you use a content creator's team, you will never do as good as they do, because they put the team together, they know the in and outs of why it works, they know why it doesn't work, they know the matchups and stuff like that. Whereas a lot of people who like just watch content creators just like see the team, pull it, and then go use it kind of blindly. So you need to know how Pokemon work, what their roles are, strengths and weaknesses, and again, matchups. You need to know that, just kind of studying and just know typing, stuff like that. So let's start with not glass cannons, but let's start with Pokemon that just have such strong movesets that they make up for their lack of stat product. And Swampert is the prime example of this. So Swampert has 122 attack, so pretty decent attack. Not like the craziest, like your super glass cannon like Sirfetch'd here. Has 146 attack, right? So it's not like an attack heavy glass cannon where he has 107 defense and 98 stamina, but it's a Pokemon that has like pretty decent attack with not amazing defense and stamina, but has one of the best and fast charge moves in the game, Mud Shot, Hydro Cannon. So with that, people who've been around for the last few years have known that I love running Togedemaru. Same sort of thing. Not the super glass, not like the 146 glass cannon that you see in Sirfetch'd, but like pretty high tech, and then it gets by getting super fast charging, 4.5 energy on Thundershock with wild charge that can just like nuke. So these are what I call, they're not glass cannons per se, because again, stuff like Sirfetch'd and stuff like that are more and like maybe like Zangoose, Zangoose with like a 145 attack with 87, like those are what I call your super glass cannons. Swampert, Togedemaru, Charizard with Blast Burn. Again, you take off the shadow there. 132, 108, 117. These are your Pokemon that are close to glass cannons, but in my opinion have movesets that are so strong and enough, not a lot, but enough defense and stamina to run over in certain scenarios. And these are Pokemon that are generally best with shields down, where you can just like wing attack Blast Burn or Hydro Cannon or Wild Charge. These are best generally shields down, but these are Pokemon that I use often either on the lead or as closers. Like Swampert, I love using on the lead, because when I use Swampert on the lead, it's you're only weak to grass. You only have one weakness, grass, and then you in neutral situations you can just spam Hydro Cannons, and that puts you in an early situation where you can just grab shields or take switch and stuff like that. That's why I like it there. Togedemaru, I like it in the back because if you can keep switch and just hard punish something with the steel typing, or if you can like grab shields early, being able to just like back-to-back wild charge and then come in something else. So those are the sort of not glass cannons that I like to use, but Pokemon that are more on the glassy side but have super hard hitting moves. On the other end, there's bulky Pokemon. Now, if you've been around this channel for a while, you know that in terms of bulk Pokemon like Carbink and Bastiodon, I hate using them. I hate using them. They are some of the bulkiest with their insane defense and stamina combos. This is Carbink, 246 defense, 138, 2762. I hate using these Pokemon. And it's not that they're just like boring, right? You're just Bastiodon, you're smacking. This is Bastiodon, not Carbink. But you're just like smacking down people and stuff like that. Why I hate these Pokemon is because if you get into a situation where you just get like walled against like a Whiscash, right? See this 143? That means you just get killed. So if you go 143, they're either going to have 127 out of 178 health left, which is a ton, or if they played it even smarter, they probably farm up a bit more and come out with like a little less health, but like 100 energy. So I hate those Pokemon that have this. However, I do like bulky Pokemon, and I think there's a lot of bulky Pokemon that fit the bill of being bulky, but also hard hitting enough in this meta to grab shields and flip switch and cause like problems. So I wonder if I can do just all of them off. Can I do this? I can do this. I'm just gonna throw all of them up on the board here. What are the ones I like using? I don't really like using Registeel, but Registeel does kind of fit the bill. Umbreon, Defense Deoxys. Let me just organize another one by stat product here just to see. Clodsire is kind of written up there. Clodsire, Dugong, yeah. Okay, let's go with that. So let's go Clodsire. Dugong, Sableye, and Lantern to a certain extent. Although Lantern can get punished by, sorry, this is overall stat product, but just go. So this is the list of Pokemon that I like using as bulky Pokemon. I don't like using Cresselia. Cresselia can also be on this list, but I don't like personally like using Cresselia. But these are Pokemon that are on the list that have a nice combo of bulk with moves that actually pressure shields, right? So Defense Deoxys is often used on lead, you counter, and then Psycho Boost actually does like a good amount of chip, right? You only have 101 attack, but your Psycho Boost does 84, only 35 energy, 84 damage though for 2.4. So a nice hard hitting like move that you can Psycho Boost and bail. Umbreon is just so bulky and tanky that you can like just spam those foul plays. Lantern with the nerf / buff Spark, and then the Surf and Thunderbolt, like you have a lot of bulk there in the stamina that you can just kind of like get to a lot of these moves, and these moves do like 108 damage on Thunderbolt, 78 on Surf. So these are the Pokemon that fit the bill of bulky Pokemon that can also sort of grab shields and stuff like that. Then there's this, and a lot of these are, not all those are safe, but like some of those are safe. And then the third category is safe. I could just organize by switches because I think they do a really, really good job on switches on PvP Poke here. But these are Pokemon that I use as safe swaps constantly because they can grab an unfavorable lead, they can grab shield. So for Alligator with Shadow Claw is just so strong with the Hydro Cannon there. And then a couple of the other stuff that's been around for a while, like Gligar, Poliwrath as your other safe swaps. Annihilate is now a top safe swap. Lickitung's always been a safe swap. Sableye is on this list. Again, Cresselia is on this list. I just don't love using Cresselia, but Cresselia is on this list. So these are Pokemon that are generally have an okay amount of bulk to start with. For Alligator, does not actually, but it has like a crazy moveset in Shadow Claw and Hydro Cannon. But the rest of them are okay bulk with a good moveset and able to grab shields and flip switch with like an okay to neutral typing overall. So that's what makes these so strong. So you got the bulk Pokemon. I'm just, let's see. I'm just going through my list of teams here just to see what I have. All safe swap team, ABB style team, that. Okay, so those are basically there's others. There's others that fit different build. Like there are the glass cannons, right? Those are your Surfetched. These are the ones I just, if you want to organize by attack stat product, they'll probably come up here. Again, I wouldn't use this, but I'm just saying if there's anything that actually is usable in attack stat product, not really, Jesus. Maybe we get down to like the 50s and 60s. Like there's Surfetch there, Lucario, Magneton is niche, But again, you're not really organizing. Like this is shows how bad attack stat product is, and this is why I don't love using these Pokemon. But there is play for them if you want to do like sort of nuke Pokemon. Like I said, Zweilous, Surfetched, Gallade fits that bill now with the moves. Right, 137 attack. Those are your attack heavy switches, bulk. Trying to think there's any other, like, again, fit the bill of like a certain style of Pokemon as opposed to like, I think they pretty much all fit in the bill. And then again, Vigoroth would be a safe swap. Dragon, I'll talk about those on one of my teams like that. So those are the main things. So how do I team build? So the first one is a very obvious balanced team. So here's one of my old teams. Not my old team. This is probably one of the oldest teams in the book. Sableye, Skarmory, and Swampert. Basically, you have your lead Pokemon and your back Pokemon cover each other's weaknesses. Swampert's only weak to grass. Skarmory is a flyer. Steel will very much double, triple resist the grass. Sableye is a safe swap. So it's basically if you lose lead, you can switch into Sableye. If it's an okay lead, you can kind of stay in here. So here's an example. Let me actually just mute. I'll make sure that that is muted. Desktop audio is muted. Okay. Because I don't want you to get the me talking there, because then it'll just be like, I hope. Let me just double mute this just to make sure here. Okay. So yeah, basically we have a Sableye, Annihilate lead, and like I said, you don't really need to in these balanced teams. I'm only really like getting out of the lead if I like lose it hard into Sableye. Otherwise, I'm probably staying in. Cannot live an Ice Punch. That's fine. I grabbed a shield already. Up a shield. I will just come in here. Probably shield up a Shadow Ball. Yeah, that's not surprising. I noticed that I touched my head and I'm touching my face and the head in the thing, and I'm touching it here too. Okay, that's annoying. I do shield up one farm. I'm gonna go for the straight farm down. That's fine. Again, when you play with the balanced team, you can like figure out whether you want to come out with like energy or come out with potential shield advantage. I came out with energy here. That's fine, because now as a safe swap, you can just kind of spam. So here's one foul play. They catch on a Trevenant. Sort of nice catch. Let's see if they actually use the shield or just catch it. So I will now just get head on energy here, knowing that I can just like potentially Brave Bird a bunch here to put this within claw range here. So I'll probably just Brave Bird. They're unlikely to shield this, but this will do a good amount of damage. Always Brave Bird. Again, this is called knowing how to use your Pokemon. Like I've gone on the record multiple times saying like there's almost no time that you should ever be throwing Sky Attack on Skarmory. You should Brave Bird almost anything. And now it's just knowing your win condition is just to farm down, because that's all you have left here. So I'm just going to farm down and take that win. So in terms of the team, balanced teams is one of my favorite to run. And basically what you're doing is putting two Pokemon together with a safe swap. So I've gone over the safe swaps in Lickitung, Sableye, Gligar, Annihilate, all those. And then two Pokemon that balance each other's, that can cover each other's weaknesses. And you go from there. Skarmory, Swampert is one of the oldest cores. But you could just kind of figure out any two, right? And the way to do that is you can just go to PV Poke. If you don't actually know what counters each other, like cover each other's weakness, you can just go to PV Poke. And there's a recommended Pokemon suggested teammates, right? So this is a perfect example. Cresselia as a psychic Pokemon, weak to Dark and Ghost. And one of the problems, like again, what doesn't show up on this list is like you are going to have problems with Steel. So why are they recommending Stunfisk and Lantern and Annihilate and Swampert? It's because you don't have anything to throw at Steel. So you have a Grass move and you have a Psychic move. You have nothing to throw at Shield. So something like Swampert can throw at Shields. Annihilate will deal with the Dark. Plus, again, Ghost will be a little tricky because you're double weak to Ghost. Lantern, again, just generally safe. Pokemon can kind of show its weakness, cover the weakness well there. So that's how you run a balanced team with a safe swap. This is what I do when I want to use, if you don't want to, I mean, you can argue this is a balanced team to a certain extent. Because again, Cress and Swampert go well together. But what this team basically is, and I have a team bulk coming up. Yeah, team bulk coming up next. But basically this is a a sort of a glass candy Pokemon with 2 safe swaps to absorb shields. So in that last match, you'll see that I haven't. I'm gonna say something, and I hope I actually played it correctly here. In that last video with Sableye and Skarmory, you saw that I got a Hydro off on the Annihilate, but I did not use any shields. What a team like this allows you to do is Crescent and Umbreon are very safe in the back. They're bulky. They can take damage. Swampert is hard hitting but pretty glassy. So what I would do with this team ideally is just use all the shields on Swampert and then use this Crescent Umbreon as sort of like third shields. So pick up live game against an Annihilate here. Same sort of thing. So I grabbed 1 shield already and I'm just going straight into Cress. And it looks like I'm just going to eat a potential move here, and it's just Ice Punch, so that's nice. And again, just trying to save the shields as you can for Swampert. Absorb damage here. I get off a Future Sight. That's huge. That takes them out. So I'm up a shield already. We'll see what comes in. Terrible with Sand Slash, but that's fine. I'm just going to try and chip here. I'd be surprised if I shield anything. You're really saving the shields for Swampert. Just a nice punch. This will chip, but not a ton because it is steel. So grab that. They may try and farm down, but again, just try and chip as much as you can. And I have 1 or 2 options. I either come in with Umbreon and just eat the move, or I come in Swampert and start shielding some of these charge moves. So I don't know what I'm going to do here. I do come Swampert. I can live 1. I may just actually try and go 2 shield Umbreon. But no, I win CMP here, so there we go. This is why Swampert's so great. If they... I'm shielding back. Yeah, I'm shielding back for 2 reasons. One is, again, you probably want to use the shields there. But 2, I was also reading something in the back that I could potentially beat with Swampert. But now you're getting to why Umbreon is just so strong. If you go over my video of like, why was Umbreon one of the top safe swaps back in the day? And this was a prime example. You'll lose this Azumarill matchup, but you're so tanky that you can just take these bubbles and play roughs. Plus, you got an okay amount of the moveset plus the stat plus the attack to throw. So you live a play rough with ease, spamming these last resorts. I'm going to basically put this in Hydro Cannon range. So they're going to have to take me out. They don't get to move up. Again, you're very, very spammy with the Snarl Foul Play. You're just taking a bunch of damage here. Chip it down. And now I snipe, which is huge because now this will take out. I don't think I can much shot that down. I think they got a little more health than me. Now I'm going to have to Snarl down. And I am able to Snarl down. So this is one of those where it's like, try to save shields for your Swampert if you can, and then have 2 bulky Pokemon in the back to just kind of take everything else. A third thing I like to run is like a team bulk. But if you watch my video on stat product, there's bulky Pokemon. Like I said, there's bulky Pokemon like Carbink and Bastion, which I don't like using. And then there's bulky Pokemon that I love using, Defenseoxys, Mandibuzz, Clodsire. And that is because these Pokemon, although very bulky and fit the nice stat product category of like nice defense and stamina combo, they are hard hitting enough with their movesets that you can actually start grabbing shields and stuff. So you get 2 benefits here. You get the benefits of you having bulky Pokemon that you can like basically decide who you want to use shield for. Like I don't need to, I mean, you need to use shields eventually, but like you don't need to use shields on Defenseoxys, Mandibuzz, or Clodsire per se. It depends on the matchups that you're against. But like Defenseoxys, counter and Psycho Boost really chips. Dark Pulse makes Mandibuzz actually very scary now. Mudshot, Earthquake, and Stone Edge is a heck of a combo for Clodsire. So here we are. They get out. I'm in no rush because same thing. Here we go. I'm bulky. I could take those Dragon Breaths. I can get to the Psycho Boost. This is probably going to grab a shield. Where do I go here? I'll go to Mandibuzz because Mandibuzz is tanky enough and spammy enough to get to these moves. I may shield 1. I could shield here. I don't need to shield here, right? This is the flexibility that a team bulk provides you. All spammy enough, all hard hitting enough to grab shields and do some damage. Like Dark Pulse, one-shots Dragonite. I've got a shield advantage. I've got switch advantage. If the Registeel comes in, I can now align Clodsire on this if I want. I'm still going to chip with Dark Pulse. So I really like using these Pokemon. Like I said, Defenseoxys, Mandibuzz, Clodsire, Dugong, Lickitung. They all kind of fit the bill of being like strong Pokemon hit hard, very safe, allows you to move around. Clodsire, I will just get alignment here. Everything's resisted, so again, I don't need to shield anything here. They may try and catch, which I was aware of, so now I Stone Edge, and they leave because I just dominated that matchup. And I dominated that matchup because I have flexibility, right? I have flexibility in like, I don't need to rush out of matchups because they're all bulky. They're not taking a ton of damage. I've got flexibility in that they all have good, decent movesets that I can kind of work around. I don't need to shield one in particular. So I really like kind of using bulky teams from that perspective. And this kind of fits the same sort of bill. I call this the all safe swap team, and it's sort of similar to an all bulk team. Like Poliwrath Gligar doesn't have the same bulk as Defenseoxys, Clodsire, and stuff like that, but it has the same effect of Gligar, Poliwrath, Lickitung are generally some of the safest in this meta because they cover a variety of Pokemon, right? Lickitung only weak to counter users. A couple counter users in the game are Psychic and Ghost, which Lick does super effective. So you don't need to worry about that. Even against like in resisted matchups with Body Slam and Power Whip, like against a Steel, like the Lick Body Slam against a Skarmory or a Registeel is way closer than it should be because like an just dummies there. Gligar, Flyer, has the Dig for the Steals. Poliwrath, Water, has the Icy Wind for the Flyers. So they each have insane coverage for what they are, mixed with an okay amount of bulk and that. So here we go. So Quagsire comes in. Again, this is not a hard answer to this. This may have Mud Bomb because this looks like I did it a while ago. That's fine. I got some bulk to take that. I am just going to go Scald. Again, this will grab a shield or chip it extremely low. And then I have options here, what I want to do next. So they let it go. That's fine. I will just come in here. It is at, we know it's a Mud Bomb, so it's not Aqua Tail. Even if it's a Stone Edge, I've already lowered their attack with Scald. So even if I take the Stone Edge, nothing I need to worry about. If the Bastiodon comes back in, this is just Mud Bomb. We don't need to shield this. So now you have options, right? If it's another water, you have options. If a Steel comes in like Sandslash, you got Dig. And that's what I also like running these teams with just like 3 safe Pokemon because you have Pokemon for basically everything. Out comes the Charizard. I still have a bunch of Aerial Aces I can chip with, right? So I'm going to chip with this Aerial Ace. They're going to need to start shielding, and they have to shield. And now I just instant swap to Lickitung because I know I can just Lick and Body Slam and don't get farmed down. I'll use shields here because a Blast Burn would hurt. It is a Blast Burn, but now it's just Lick and Body Slam range, and they know it, so they're out of here. And that's the thing with these like safe swap teams. Like I can go Lickitung or Gligar. So I'm going to come Gligar. Gligar is safe. They're going to chip me. See if I shield or not. This would still hurt. Yeah, I'm gonna shield. And now out comes a Whiscash, which will hurt, but I'll chip a bunch and then I'll come Poliwrath, right? So there's a lot of flexibility in these sort of like all safe swap teams, which I really like. And usually these safe Pokemon are top meta just because they have a lot of flexibility in the meta. And the last team style is ABB, which I hate using. Like if you saw my pathetic attempt at double steal recently, you know I hate using ABB. So basically what you need to do is you need to draw out, you have 2 Pokemon back with the same typing. You safe swap one, and it's going to be Goodra. And you try and draw out, in this case, an Ice or a Fairy, and then Toxapex as a Water Poison will resist that and beat that, and then you come in with the other one to roam free. Now, I hate using teams like this because what it requires you to do is it requires you to get out. Oh, they're not going to get out of this lead. They're going to get out of this lead. So let's see if I have another one where I have to get out. See what the lead is on this one. Empoleon. So this is a bad lead. And Empoleon's kind of a core breaker for this team, quite honestly. But it looks like I won that matchup anyways. No, bad lead. I'm trying to give an example. I'm trying to find an example where I had like a neutral lead that you need to like leave. Toxapex into Azumarill. This is again a good lead, so they're gonna leave. I guess I do not have a lot of examples of a neutral lead here. But basically with these ABB style teams is if it's a neutral lead, no, this is a bad lead, so I'm gonna get out anyways. Into a dragon. Let's just watch this one. But basically, if you have a neutral lead, you need to get out. both Dragonair and Goodra are very, very tanky, so they can kind of both act as safe swaps. Both have like hard, like good coverage moves. There's a dragon, so I'm going to grab a shield here. So I grabbed the shield, did chip on the Skarmory. I can probably absorb on Toxapex, and then I wouldn't be surprised if I just try and sweep with Goodra is probably how I'm going to play this one out. But basically, ABB style teams requires you to like draw out your weaknesses with Goodra and stock and come back in with Toxapex. I don't like doing that. I don't like having to get up because there's 3 things in this game that in GBL which helps you win or lose. And it's energy, shield, and switch. And for ABB style teams, when you're giving up one of those 3, you're giving up switch immediately. It doesn't make sense to me why you would give up one of your sort of conditions to win so quickly when you don't have to. So I don't like using ABB style teams. I've tried them a couple times. They eventually give up into Hackmo here. I'm going to chip here and then go Goodra. We are both running ABB style teams. They're using Skarmory, Double Dragon. I am using Toxapex Double Dragon. Skarmory makes sense too because you will destroy ice with Steel Wing and you will wall Fairy. So that is a good option there. Take the move here. And now I think I just need to commit to the farm down, quite honestly. And Toxapex, I'd have to commit to the farm down. And I do. And there you go. So that's how you get out of a crap steel lead there. So those are all the different teams. Those are the different Pokemon's rules. Those are how I build teams. Again, if you've been around for a while, you know that I like balanced teams like a Skarmory, Swampert, Sableye. Or just like I generally like safe teams or 2 bulky Pokemon with like a hard hitting like Togedemaru or Swampert, stuff like that, just because I find that they provide the most flexibility in this meta, where you like know that you can use shields on like Swampert and Togedemaru and then just absorb damage on the other. Or if you have like a triple bulk, triple safe swap team, you have flexibility in the matchups to know like I don't need to get out of this right away. I can do this. So those are the types of teams that I like to put together and use. And I think that they are the strongest for team building. So yeah, that's how I team build. Each player team builds differently. Sort of, not really. Instead, each team builds differently. It depends. Like Tho, Technical, and I are very, very, very similar in teams we put out. Home Slice, although he usually runs Spice. What was the video that just happened like a couple weeks ago? We basically put out the exact same team. Because again, there's only so many ways you can team build properly. There's only so many Pokemon to use. So you're going to see content creators basically duplicate one another. Because if you know how to team build properly, which I think a lot of us do, and you use strong Pokemon, which I think a lot of us do when we're trying to grind, there's only so many combos you can use. And that's the way GBL is, the way it's set up right now, unfortunately. So let me know in the comments below if there's any other like team building strategies you use, or certain like if there's any like Pokemon sort of subheadings that I missed here, or if there's any other teams subheadings that you use that I haven't gone over. I didn't go over like ABA teams. That would be something like Azumarill lead, something that can beat like grass and electric, and then like another water in the back, like maybe like Quagsire or something like that, where if you see like a grass on the lead, you can at least stay in and throw Ice Beam with like a Azumarill, something like that. Like that's kind of how it plays out. But yeah, again, I don't like using those either. I prefer just these other style of teams. Anyways, that's enough talking. Let me know in the comments below about your team building. And that's it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.